Good morning. Did y'all take your Celtic salt? Let me start off with that. Ugh. And I'm going to go ahead and put my watch on. Because if I don't, I'll forget. Good morning, Missy, Lorraine, Jane, Teresa, Cynthia, who else? Brenda. Ooh, I just need to stretch. Trying to figure out what I'm going to really talk about today. Okay, Facebook is here. We have about a minute before we're going to get started. Good morning, Elisa. Alicia, not Elisa. Why did I say Elisa? Alicia. Y'all, my hair, this is my natural hair. You see how fuzzy my hair is because it's naturally curly? And it is a big fuzz ball. And I am just not liking my hair. All right, I've been kind of going back and forth about what to talk about because I put a poll out. Ooh. I put a poll out. Everybody's asked me to talk about depression. And so I also wanted to talk about my Thursday YouTube video because some people private messaged me about the lesson that I learned with Shane during my Thursday video about the peacock enclosure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the video was I woke up and I was so excited because I was going to the group homes basketball game because they had asked me to go to the game. And it happened on Friday night, and Shane and I were out to eat, and Shane knew that I was going to the basketball game, and then our plans totally changed that morning because Shane was going to go to work. I was going to go to the basketball game, and the basketball game was just for an hour. And so that morning, Shane ended up not going to work. Next thing I know, he's out there starting my peacock enclosure. And I was like videoing about me going to the basketball game. And then suddenly, when I went out there to tell Shane that don't forget I have to go to that basketball game, he made a smart aleck remark about me not going to the basketball game, that he would just stay and do the peacock enclosure by himself. So at that point, I had a choice. Do I go to the basketball game, to the group homes basketball game, or do I stay here and do the peacock enclosure? And it was a very hard decision for me because I really wanted to go to the basketball game. And I got myself sideways in the beginning because I felt as though it's like nothing can ever be planned in my house. And I feel like we just fly by the seat of our pants, and it caused me depression, that like instant depression. But like one thing about, I'm going to take my glasses off and we're going to begin. There's one thing about depression. There's two types of depression. There's clinical depression, and then there is situational depression. And I know in my life, sometimes it's hard for me to determine what is going on with myself. I'm like, is this clinical depression or is this situational depression? And that particular day, it was definitely situational depression. So it wasn't something that I just needed to deal with the situation. And the situation, when I have depression, anxiety, things like that, for me and myself, I have to get off by myself because I have to figure out what's going on in this brain. And when people are around talking, it's hard for me to come to a conclusion on what is going on with me, what is going on with the situation, and how to get to being the best version of myself because the situation is not good. So that particular day, when I went to the creek to go, I just needed a minute to cry because I was like, I can't even go to a basketball game. Why? Like, why, and I had to go, what, like, why? Why can Shane not just understand that the group home asked me to go to the basketball? It's only for an hour. Why is he sitting here making me feel guilty for leaving, going to the basketball game when he was supposed to go to work? His plans changed. So he was going to do the peacock enclosure and he expects my plans to change and do the peacock enclosure. Like, why is this happening? And a lot of people private messaged me and they were like, you should have not let Shane do that to you. And I get what you're saying. I do. I do. But when I went to the creek and I figured things out, I'm like, why is Shane making me feel guilty for going to see the group home? Why? Why is he doing this to me? Is he doing it to be mean? Is he inconsiderate? Is he not thinking about what I want? Is he like what is he doing? And when I was in the emotion of anger, all I could think was negative. He is so mean to me. He is like, I have to do everything that he wants to do. I feel like a robot. Like, I was like thinking out of anger. And sometimes when we're triggered or things like this happen, we do react out of anger because it is disappointing that I can't go to the group home's basketball game for an hour. It was. I was hurt. I was disappointed. And I was like, why doesn't he put me first? Why does my feelings and what I need to do, doesn't matter? I felt like that. And then I had to go, let's check the facts. I am depressed. I have anxiety. I feel like running away from home. So how do I check the facts and go, okay, I'm feeling like Shane doesn't care about me. As if, not that he doesn't care about me, he doesn't care that I had plans already. He doesn't sit here and go, okay, Rob from the group home asked Judy to go to this basketball game and Judy really wants to go. So let me do the things I can do without her and let her go to this game. That's not what happened. It was guilt trip for me leaving, and then it caused me to spiral into a situational depression. So when I went out there and I was feeling all these emotions of anger going, he don't care. He don't know. He gets on my nerves. You know how you do when you're mad? And I was like, okay, Judy, let's check the facts. Shane is not very good at communicating. He's not. As a matter of fact, I had no idea he wasn't going to work that day. When I walked out there to do animals, he's out there doing the peacock enclosure. I'm like, is he not going to work? Like, what the heck? What is he doing? And so in my head, I said, let's check the facts. Okay, I'm sitting here telling myself that Shane doesn't put me first. Is that a fact? Is that a fact? And I had to break it down. And I'm like, I feel like this, but is this a fact? And when you're in situational depression, you've got to check the facts, because when you're depressed, you'll let your emotions run wild. You will. Because you'll be stuck in a depression and you're not in reality. So when I broke it down, I realized, did Shane purposely not go to work and start the peacock enclosure to piss me off? No. 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 And would he, if I would have made the choice to go to the group home basketball game, would he have been truly mad at me? Like when I'd have got home, would he have been mad at me if I'd have jumped right in and helped him? No. So why is he making me feel guilty for going? What is he trying to tell me? I had to sit there and break this down, because he can't really say how he feels because he's a boy. Boys don't really talk about emotions and how they feel and all those gory details of, they don't have the same feelings that a woman has. We are more passionate and more emotional and all, versus a guy was more hard and not into emotion. So the moment that I broke that down, I was able to come to the conclusion that I can't be planned for nothing. I cannot literally sit down and have a plan and it follow through. It's like something is always coming up that changes the plans. So when these things happen to you and something happens and you're in a depression that's a situational depression, are you going to let it control you? Are you going to let it ruin your day? Are you going to let it just consume you? That's sitting it out. The only way to get to a resolution of the situational depression is to break it down. And unfortunately, you have to be the smarter one. Shane don't know how to break nothing down. I am the strong one. And why am I so mentally strong? Because for so long, I didn't have tools in my pocket to pull out. And if I was in that situation 10 years ago, let's say 15 years ago, if I was in the same situation that I was in that day 15 years ago, my situational depression would have ended up being clinical depression, and I would have stayed depressed for a year. That is the difference of me today versus 15 years ago. Because what would have happened is my husband would have made me feel unimportant. And then I would have taken the situational depression into clinical depression, and I wouldn't have been able to get out of my depression. That's how serious my depression was in my past. Now, for me, I don't have clinical depression anymore. I don't. I don't fight that. And there was times when the depression was so bad and I had no tools in my pocket to figure out what was going on. And then my depression would lead to why am I alive? I have no purpose here on earth. I'm literally just here. And I would find myself sitting in a red chair. I talk about the red chair a lot. It was an oversized, I wished I had a picture of it. It was this oversized red chair. And I would sit in the chair and I could not find anything good in my life but my children. I hated my marriage. I hated my job. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way I felt. I was mad about my mom being sick. I felt as though I had no one. Now, I want to ask y'all this question. Some of you may be able to relate to me. Some of you may not. When I get into situational depression, I don't know why I do this, but I do this. I start calling people. And this is what'll happen. Like, I'm just going to give an example. Let's just say that I am in a situation where something bad's happening with Larry. Okay. And he has sent me over the edge. Let's say we get stuck on buying pencils. Okay. And I feel like I'm about to lose my mind because I deal with this all the time, this obsession situation. The first person, and what's so funny about this, what I'm about to tell you, is I could sit down and write down what's going to happen before I even do it. Okay. I could literally get a sheet of paper out and go, okay, you're going to call your brother. Your brother is going to say this. Okay, you're going to call your sister-in-law. Your sister-in-law is going to say this. You're going to call a friend. Your friend is going to say this. I literally can tell you verbatim what every person that I call is going to say to me. Okay, you're going to call your children. This is what they're going to say to you. I have got this so figured out that I literally can tell you everything that they're going to say to me. So, do you know, like, if you're in a situation, okay, I don't know, and you have somebody's getting on your nerves, or you've got something going on with your spouse, or your children, and you call your sibling, okay, your brother or sister on the phone. Can you get a sheet of paper and write down what your sister's going to say to you before you even tell her the situation? Like, you know what she's going to say. Me too. Me too. I can literally write the exact words. If I call my brother on the phone and tell him a situation, I literally can write down the exact words he's going to say to me. Does that stop me from calling my brother because I'm needing something? No. And it's like a broken record. It's like I have depression or a situational something I'm going through. I need, what am I needing? Like when I call my brother on the phone, when Larry does something, what am I needing from my brother? Why do I continuously call him and get the same results? And it's never what I need. It is not what I need. And then this is what I do. I don't know if you do this. So I'm in a situation, I'm triggered by some kind of something. The first person I call is my brother, and my brother doesn't give me what I need. So then I call someone else. Let's say I call my children. Or let's say I call Shane next. Okay? I call Shane next and I can write down what he's going to say before I call him, and then he doesn't give me what I need. And so then I call someone else because I'm looking for this need that is not getting met. And I could call 5 people and no one is going to meet my need. And it makes me laugh because I'm like, you jokers don't get it. Jokers don't get it. So what do they tell me? This is what they tell me. Okay. Larry is obsessed about buying pencils. Okay. And I know that seems so silly, but when you deal with it all the time, it's overwhelming sometimes. Okay. It seems so stupid. It is stupid. Okay. I'm sorry to say the word stupid, but it's stupid that it even bothers me. But when you deal with it 24/7, it consumes you. So when I call my brother, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this is what happened. Huh. And this is my brother on the other end. Huh. Oh. Huh. Oh. It's like going in one ear, not the other. And then he's like, just walk out. Just walk out, Judy. Just quit. I don't know. He's like, it's almost like he's not listening to me because he's got something else going on, whether it be work, because maybe I call him during the week and my brother has a very stressful job. And so I call in the middle of a stressful job during the week to talk about something stupid like buying pencils. And my brother's like, yeah, huh, well, well, and he's trying to get off the phone with me. I can tell because every single time he'll say the same thing. Hey, I've got sales reps calling me. I got to go. And I'm like, well, I didn't get what I needed from him. Okay, well, let me call Shane. So I call Shane and go, I'm about to go crazy. What's wrong, Judy? Because we're stuck on pencils again. We're stuck on stupid pencils, Shane. Judy, quit worrying about it. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Well, that joker didn't give me what I needed. He's just telling me not to worry about it, and he didn't get it. So my brother's too busy with sales reps. Shane's telling me not to worry about it. Okay, well, let's go to the next person. What's the next person going to tell me? And I sit here, and after calling like 5 people and not getting my needs met, I'm like, what do I need? Like, what do I need? And I realized that what helps me is to hear someone else go through similar things like myself and tell me that they understand. And when I hear that, it's almost like, oh, they get me. Oh, they get me. I'm not looking for a solution because there's no solution. I'm just looking for reassurance that that someone understands. That's what I'm looking for. And depending on who I call, I may or may not get it, but usually it takes like 10 phone calls to get to the person who understands me, you know? And I crack up because, like, if, let's just say I called my sister-in-law, okay? She's very trusting with God. And if I called her, I could write down what she's going to say to me. Well, we'll pray about it. What? Like, and it's not that they're giving me the wrong answers. It's just that I have this need that's not getting met. And I find myself continuously calling, trying to look for a need to get met, and it can't get met. So what do you do when you recognize that you have this repeated behavior and it's not getting met? Just as if, you know, like when Larry gets stuck on something and he can't get his need met. Like what is he needing? When he has obsessive behavior, what is he needing? I find myself doing the same thing. I have this obsessive calling people behavior because I'm needing to get a need met, just like Larry's having this obsessive behavior and he's needing a need met. What is he needing? What is it that he's needing? And is there any possible way that I can meet his need? Do you have a need that needs to be met that nobody can meet your need? What do you do? What do you do? And if you recognize this trigger and this repeated behavior that you have, it will, if you don't get your need met, it will send you into a clinical depression where you're having to go to the doctor and go, I need something. I'm bad. I can't go to work. I can't function. I'm sleeping all the time. I don't know. You're doing risky behavior. Like, what do you do when you get into a clinical depression? What does it look like for you? For me, it looks like I sleep. I sleep a lot. That's what I used to do. Because sleeping took away the depressive behavior. And it was my only outlet of resting my brain, is just to sleep. And I would sleep for hours and hours and hours and hours. I was so physically exhausted because my brain was kicked in high gear with depression. I hated everything about my life. I hated my job. I didn't like my marriage. I didn't like the way I carried myself. Nothing. And when you absolutely do not like anything around you and you feel like you do not have a purpose in life, it will exhaust you and it will make you physically sick. And sometimes you don't know how to say, I'm depressed. You just know you don't feel good. And you find yourself running to the doctor and going, something's not right. My back hurts, my neck hurts, my stomach hurts, my big toe hurts. Like everything inside me hurts. Something is physically wrong with me. I am sick, because you don't recognize depression. You feel physically sick, because clinical depression will cause you to be physically sick. It is a true illness. And with me, this behavior is almost like I just need someone to listen. And sometimes we think on the other end, I actually saw one of our followers, she kind of she goes live and she actually talks about depression and stuff like that too. I forgot, Anita Andrews is her name. But I saw her post about, now I done forgot what she said. I may have to look it up. It sparked a little let me go find her. And we'll go find it. Why is she not pulling up? I can't remember her Facebook name. Something will pass. This too shall pass. There it is. Is that her? Here it is. She said, I don't know if she's on here. Too often, people don't listen to try to understand, but they listen with the intent to reply. So when I'm calling these people trying to get my need met, they're not listening to me. They're just trying to think of what to respond with. That's not, she said, too often people don't listen to try to understand, but they listen with the intent to reply. But that's not showing compassion. But I believe every one of us have the ability to change. We each love the feeling of being accepted for who we are. We love when others make us feel like we have been seen, heard, and understood. This is a fantastic show of love and respect, and I want to show that to others. And I thought in my head, that's exactly what I do when I am feeling the need for someone to show compassion, that I have a very hard job being a caregiver. And the person that I think that I could call would be my brother, because my brother knows Larry. He knows his little quirky ways. And I would think that he would have compassion to go, Judy, I don't know how you do it. You're doing a good job. But instead, it's like Shane. Judy, just quit worrying about it. Well, Joker, if it was that easy, I would not even have picked up the phone and called you. Like, it's not that easy. But what happens is I am guilty when people call me on the phone to tell me one of their problems. I'm quick to reply too, instead of listening to the person. I am quick to want to give a response. Are y'all like that? I realize that I'm just like my brother. I am just like Shane. I am. And why are we so quick to respond when someone calls us with a problem? Because we're trying to solve their problem. But actually, we can't solve their problem. We can't. We can't really help them. We can listen. It's just like when your kids call you. Your kids call you on the phone, and let's just say they tell you a problem with their relationship with their significant other or spouse or whatever. So they call you and go, Mom, she drives me crazy. I don't know. Or Mom, he drives me crazy because he did this, and if you respond and you say, I have no idea why he does that, I don't see how you put up with it. If I was you, I would do blah, 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 blah. If you said that to your child, they're going to find defense to that because that's not what they're needing. They don't need you to say, I don't know how you put up with it. That is not what they're needing you to hear. They're needing you to say. They just need you to listen. Because when you start throwing your opinion to your children, they don't like it. They don't like it. So what do you say when your child calls you and they tell you all this negative stuff that you really are like, I really did not need to hear that. Like, that's not what a mom needs to hear. I really did not need to hear that you're in an argument with your spouse. Because for a mom, when a child tells you, I don't know, that let's just say their relationship is rocky, you're like, what does it do to me? What does it do to you? It sends us into a worry. Oh, Lord. Sally Sue's over here in a fight with her husband, and oh my gosh, they're talking about like having to go to counseling. Oh, it sends a mom into a spiral because then we start worrying about our child. So when your child calls you with a situation that you're like, I really don't need to hear this, but you don't say that to him. So what do you say? Exactly what Anita said. You just listen and you go, well, I trust that you're going to make the right decision. You don't give them a response. You don't tell them what to do. But we are quick when someone calls us to tell them what to do. I'm the same way. I'm not telling you that I don't do that because I'm the world's worst. When people call me with problems, I begin to tell them the solutions. So what if you did this? Someone calls you with a problem. What happens for that person that calls and they go, they call you and they're telling you all this negative stuff about their spouse. And what if you said, have you prayed about it? You send them for a spiral because that's not what they want to hear. They don't want to hear that. Because then they're going to go, well, no, I hadn't prayed about it. Dadgummit, you just cold busted me, slapped me in the face, and telling me to pray about it. No. But what if the person calls you and you say, well, I've known you for 3 years and you always make the best decisions and you'll figure it out. It's almost like a cold bus, but that's when you start going, but let me change the subject. So like someone calls you and tells you something bad about their husband. Okay. And they're caught up in the moment of anger. They're in emotional mind and they're in anger and they're like throwing up, telling you how train wrecked their husband is. Okay. And then, so what happens is you form an opinion about their husband because they're in emotional mind, train wrecking their husband to you because they're in emotional mind. And then a situation comes and they can't understand. Well, Mom, why don't you like Susie Q? Well, do you not remember calling me, telling me all that bad stuff about her? Why would I like her? The way she treats you awful. No, she doesn't, Mom. No, she doesn't. Well, you told me she did. That was yesterday, Mom. Today's a different day. Today's a different day. But what happens is they're caught up in an emotional mind of anger. They call you on the phone, exploding with their emotional mind, and then you form an opinion about their spouse. And then when you form the opinion about their spouse and throw it back and don't like their spouse, then they're mad at you because now you don't like their spouse. What do you do with that? I feel like it's important to have counseling. I do. I feel like everybody needs a counselor, a professional that can break things down for you and go, okay, your child was caught up in emotional mind. They were caught up in the moment of anger. They call and tell you everything's bad about their spouse. Then you form an opinion and it's not good. So when they call you and they throw up with their anger and they tell you all this bad stuff about their spouse, you need to stay neutral. How do you do that? How do you not form an opinion of hating their spouse when they tell you all the negative stuff? Is recognizing, well, listen here, daughter, you're in anger. You're talking out of anger. So I trust you. You make good decisions, and I trust that you and your spouse are going to get through this. You're just angry right now. Go sit by the creek, break it down, figure out what's going on, look at the big picture, and don't get caught up in an emotion. Because when you get caught in emotion, you're going to find yourself not good. I think that for me, I get caught up in trying to tell people a solution. And unfortunately, I'm not God. Believe it or not, believe it or not, I don't have the answers. I think that when someone calls you, just like where I'm looking for a solution when I call my brother, and I'm looking for a solution when I call my sister-in-law or my husband, and they don't give me what I need, I'm almost mad at them. Why'd I even call you? You ain't listening. You're too busy in your own world. Like, you're not listening to a word I say. What if you called someone that was well? Someone that had a therapy under their belt, and they recognized that you were caught up in an emotion. I try to say, can I just vent? I'm not looking for a solution. Can I just vent? Can I just throw up at the mouth and tell you everything that's just going on that I'm mad about? And the person that you can call and go, I just need to vent. Okay, Chicky Mama, go. I'm listening. You just had diarrhea of the mouth. And they were like, well, that's a lot. You just like said about 50,000 words in less than a minute. You have a lot on you. But you always do such a good job of breaking it down, figuring out how to get through this. So I sit here and ask myself, like, if I can write down what people are going to say to me when I call them, why do I call them? I wish I knew the answer to that. I wish that. I wish so bad I could tell you that I knew the answer to why I do that. But I have no clue why I do that. And it reminds me of Dr. Phil. You know how Dr. Phil, did y'all ever watch Dr. Phil? I was a Dr. Phil fanatic, okay? I can't find this eyeliner that I was looking for. Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? How's that working for you? And you're like, it ain't. I'm a train wreck. It ain't working. What does work for you? So I sit here and go, okay, how do I get to the point where I don't call these broken records that I know are not going to meet my needs? How do I get my own need met without calling 10 people that are going to tell me the same thing, that are not going to meet my needs? How do I stop doing that? I'm going to tell you how. It's practice. It's practice. Practice not calling them. That's what my counselor would tell me. Oh, Lord. Thought I'd do something different, and it looks like a... You've got to practice. Practice, like for me, I need to practice going to the... Oh, there it is. No, that ain't it. I've got to practice going to the creek before I practice calling these people that can't meet my needs. Now, does that mean that Shane is a bad person because he doesn't meet my needs, or my brother is a bad person because he doesn't meet my needs? No, they can't meet my needs because I don't even know what my needs are at the moment. Okay. I don't even know. I'm just caught up in it. I'm caught up in when this caregiving is so hard. I just need someone to listen to me. Instead of calling those people that I know what are going to say to me, what if I went to the creek and called the person that created me? Yo, God, it's me, Judy. I'm on a struggle bus. This joker's driving me nuts. Why do I continuously call my brother and Shane or my children? They go, who's calling me? Morris Max. Hello?
Hello, man. My name is Max Mary. I just wanted to ask y'all, do you have any RAM lamps in stock?
Do I have any ram lambs in stock?
Yes.
No, I don't sell my animals.
Oh, you don't sell no? Okay, all right. Do you know anybody nearby that sell their animals?
I sure don't.
You don't? Okay,
no.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I can't help you.
No problem. Thank you.
7:45 in the morning. Y'all get all kinds of calls. I think what I'm calling for is to say this is really hard. This is really hard. What do you call for? Do you call? Maybe you're not the person that picks up the phone and starts calling people, telling them your story. I can remember when I was going through therapy, like therapy as in like an 8-week program, my doctor used to say, instead of calling, go get in the bed. Judy, I want you to go get in the bed. This is ridiculous, is what I was thinking. This is ridiculous. I have to go get in the bed instead of calling. But calling, when I call my family and I get don't worry about this, or Judy, it's like this every day. What's different today than yesterday? I just need to tell you it's hard. I just need to say it's hard, okay? I've learned. Now this is how I'm a funny person. And sometimes I can call and I'm like, Shane, listen to me. I'm fixing to call you. I'm going to hang up the phone and call you back. When I call you back, this is what I need you to say. I need you to say, Judy, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this every day. It's going to be okay, and I love you. Okay, hang on. I'm going to call you back in just a minute. So I'm going to hang up the phone and call you back. Hey, Shane. Hey, let me just tell you what I've been through today. And then when he says to me what I told him to say to me, I laugh so hard. I laugh so hard. It just and Shane and I both will sit there and die laughing about it. And then I'm okay. Like I'm okay. But if I call him up on the phone and I don't tell him what to say, it's like he sends me to space. Judy, quit worrying about it. Dadgum. Quit worrying about it. Thank you for the Shane. I had no idea I was not supposed to worry about it. Thank you. Thank you so much for telling me not to worry about it, because I had no freaking clue that I was not supposed to worry about it. You just saved the freaking day. Thank you. Saying, it's like, dear Jesus, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Did y'all know y'all wasn't supposed to? I mean, imagine if you called somebody and you told them a situation. Would you quit worrying about it? Oh, had no clue. Thank you for telling me not to worry about it. I literally had no clue I wasn't supposed to be worrying about this. So you just like solved the whole freaking issue. Like you just made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I feel great now. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Like I appreciate it 100%. You taking the time out of the day to tell me how to meet my needs. I was just the whole time I had no clue I wasn't supposed to worry about it. And now that I know, this whole time I was just supposed to not worry about it. Bam, I'm so much better. Okay. Okay. And y'all have those people? I don't know if I said anything that helps you today. I don't even know if I helped myself today. I just think that when you have situational depression, If you do not put tools in your pocket when you're not having depression, if you don't practice working on yourself when you're not depressed, like for example, I show you this book all the time. This changed my life, this book. I went through this whole program. Look how thick it is. I went through this whole program for 2 years to get to where I am today. Yes, I went to class every single week for 2 solid years to get through where I was able to put tools in my pocket. I did not understand. There's a stink bug. Should I get the preacher stick and kill him? Oh, oh, oh! I killed him with the preaching stick. If you do not practice every single day, exercising good mental health things, you're going to end up in clinical depression. If you fight depression, if you fight situational depression that like a situation happens and you get in left field and you have a hard time getting out of left field. Thursday's video, I could have made the choice to be mad at Shane the whole entire day, to be mad, just mad, period, because I was expecting to go to see the basketball game. I could have made the choice to go, I hate my husband today. I can't stand him. But instead, I had to exercise my brain, go sit at the creek and go, what the crap is going on? Why is he making me feel guilty for going to this game? What am I mad about? I'm mad that nothing can be planned in my life. Nothing. Okay, not nothing. There are things that are planned. So that was an exaggeration. Things can be planned and it go out. But a majority of things that I deal with in my life is hard to plan around because I have hospice here. I have a dad that's in the bed. I have animals. I have Shane that has 2 jobs, and our lives are just like this. And the second Shane and I would have planned to have that peacock enclosure done on Saturday, he would have had to work. And I would have found myself in left field. Well, I guess we're not doing the peacock enclosure today. You got called into work. So I planned the whole day on helping him with the peacock closure, and now we can't do it. I had to go to the creek and break it down because I was about to sit it out all day long and be mad. If you do not exercise and put tools in your pocket and pull them out during hard times, you're going to find yourself in the red chair for years. And you're going to sit it out. And you've got to figure out what tools you have to put in your pocket to get to where you are dancing. And if you depend on your spouse for your happiness, you're headed for a dead end. Ask the balloons. Okay, you're headed for a dead end. If I sit here and depended on Shane for everything to meet my need, I would be in so much trouble. Because Shane is a train wreck. Okay, I'm just here to tell you right now. And if he depended on me for his happiness, and he had all these expectations of me and what a wife should be, he would be in trouble because I can't meet all his needs. So Every day you have to wake up and make a choice, right? And I speak on mental health in the mornings because I feel like it starts off your day in the right direction. So, if you're struggling with depression today, whether it's situational or clinical, okay, first of all, if it's clinical depression and you can't get out of the funk, you need to go to the doctor because it ain't going to get better. You may need a little adjustment in your chemical brain to get you in the right direction. But it doesn't mean like a magic pill is going to come into your body and you're going to go, wham, I'm not depressed anymore. No, it takes practice every single day. Every single day. I wake up and not feel good every single morning. And there is a choice in your life that you make a difference in someone else's life and your own life. Like, what am I going to do today to make a difference in my own life? What do I need to do today to take care of myself? What causes me to get in left field? Like, I know myself so well that I know these particular things will get me in left field. Number one is eating wrong. It will get me in left field all the time. I don't know if it's the sugar. I don't know if it's the carbs, the gluten. Something causes me to get triggered and I will be in left field in a depression. When I make good decisions eating, I feel better all over. I know that about myself. That may not be one of your things that get you down. It may not bother you, but there's something else that triggers you to a depression. Maybe you feel like you don't have a purpose in life, or maybe you're in a situation where you and your family are fighting. There's something that's causing this discomfort in your brain. What is it? And then you have to break it down. And to be the best version of yourself when you're in a situation where you and somebody are arguing, if you sit and say, they did this, they did that, they, you have to look within. You can't sit here and point your finger at everybody else. You did nothing wrong. There is two wrongs, right? There's two sides to the story. Instead of you focusing on what all they did wrong to you, what did you do? Believe it or not, there's something that you did. But when you're able to get in, okay, let me get out of Judy's shoes, let me get into someone else's shoes. How did I make them feel? When I said this, how did I make them feel? Well, I can see where this might have gotten turned around wrong. So it's just a miscommunication. Like, what was it? What was it? Maybe it's a relationship that's not worth fighting over. Maybe it's a relationship that go, you know what? It's time for me to move on. It this was the season. This is time for me to move on because I am not the best version of myself when I'm with this person. And I've got to let it go. Whatever the situation is, you've got to look at continuously working on practice to get yourself to where you're dancing. The second I don't practice, I forget to pull the tools out of my pocket. It's easy to do. One slip up and I'm in left field. Quick. And the last thing I want to be doing is sitting in the red chair. The last thing I want to do is to have an unhappy marriage. In order for me to have a happy marriage, I have to work really hard. Because that joker living with him, because he ain't going to counseling. There's nothing wrong with him. He's good. It's all me. You got one of those? I didn't have anger before you. I have anger because of you. Oh, God, seriously? So if I set the last 5 girls down before me, they're all going to tell me that, like, you had no anger at all. Like, it's just me. Wow, I bring that out in you. I have to go, okay, stay in your own lane, Judy. Just fix you. Just fix you. Fix the way you respond to that. Keep working on you. And the more you work on you, the better they become. If you want to fix them, fix you. Fix the way you respond to them. You want to fix your children? Fix you. Fix you. Get out of their lane. If they're adult children, get out of their lane. Fix you. Worry about you and your issues. Because the second you're trying to fix everybody else around you because they're the ones with all the problems, you're going to find yourself sitting it out. But the minute you focus on yourself and go, okay, I can't fix them, but I can fix me. Does that mean that you're allowing them to run over you? You're smart enough. You're smart enough. You have choices, right? New week, new day. You have a choice. And I think finding your purpose is the start of a new day. I went and spoke to a school on Friday, and I told those kids to get out a sheet of paper and write things down that they're good at. So I'm going to tell you the same thing. Get a sheet of paper and write down the 3 things that you're good at. I'm good at singing. I'm good at drawing. I'm good at communicating. I'm good at dancing. I'm good at whatever. I'm good at crafts. I'm good at what talent did God give you? Because every one of us, if I sat here and said, okay, backup dancers, tell me the gift that God gave you. What are you good at? You all have something that you're really good at. I feel like personally, once you realize what you're good at, instead of going, I'm good at this, go, God gave me this gift. What am I doing it to glorify Him? What am I doing to help other people? By having this gift that God gave me, how am I glorifying Him? And how am I using this God-given talent that I have to show other people to dance? What is it? I feel like once you realize what you're good at and you begin to use that gift to help others is the moment you find your purpose. It happened to me. I am good at entertaining. I am. If you come to Sneed's farmhouse, you're going to have a good time. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to make you cry. I'm going to make you wiggle your booty. I'm an entertainer. I was meant for the stage. I'm just like my child. Now, my stage is a different stage than my child's stage. Okay. My child is very good at memorizing, singing, and acting. I am not. I can't memorize. I can't sing, but I can entertain. And I realized that God gave me a given talent to be in front of people. I don't get scared. I'm not scared there could be 15,000 people in front of me and I'm not scared to speak. I will tell my story to anybody that will listen to it. And I really firmly feel like that God shut my farm down for me to meet, because I can reach God can reach more people on social media than people coming to my farm. I can reach people from all over the country to listen to my story. And so many people fight mental illness. Me too. But you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to pay a copay to come here. Not that I'm a doctor and have all the answers. I can just tell you my story and how I got to where I am today and hold your hand to get you where you're going. I'm not a professional. I'm not. And I do recommend going to a psychiatrist, counselor, some type of professional if you have clinical depression, even situational depression. I do. Because I couldn't do it without mine. But I do know that I have the tools in my pocket, and I'm constantly putting tools in my pocket to get to where I am today because it's hard in this world. But alone, you don't have to do it because there's backup dancers to help you. They're here. We're here every Monday and Wednesday at 7. I love you guys. You have a choice. You can sit it out or you can dance, and I hope you dance. I will see y'all Wednesday. Tomorrow, my video comes out at 3 o'clock. Look, I'm still trying my best to get in this routine. And if it wasn't for Julie, I would have been in trouble on Thursday. She's like, Judy, it is 3:15 and you have not put your video out, and I've reminded you 45 times. God bless you, Julie. I'm slow. And then she was like, Judy, don't forget your put your live out. Don't forget. I'm like, Julie, I asked Diane, you have to remind me 10 times. I'm so sorry because I get busy. So thank you, Julie, for being my brain. I'll see you guys later. Bye.